Flat. Absolutely flat. Right, so a lot of you have obviously faced the same issue, especially out here in the Middle East. Our batteries last us about a year with the intense heat, so your starting battery has to be replaced quite often. Now, this is quite irritating when you're in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And, well, we travel on our own, so we don't have a second vehicle to jumpstart us. It is a manual, I suppose you could push it, but she's a donkey, she's a diesel, so not a lot of the times that you have the space to be able to push it downhill because we're camping on a flat spot. So pushing 99% of the time, you can't push a car in the desert. Right, so here's today's tip for you. When installing a dual battery management system, or any kind of dual battery setup, a lot of people forget one important step. I'm not going to explain how dual battery management systems work because that's for a different show. This is a tip for those of you that have already installed one or about to install one. What would I normally do when I'm out there stuck in the middle of the desert on my own and my cranking battery has run flat? Well, simple. Carry big ass jumper cables with you, and everything we're trying to do as overlanders is minimize space. So here's the tip. Simple. Cranking battery over there, lithium batteries in the back over here. You might have your cranking batteries all up front if you're running AGM batteries or wherever you have them in the vehicle. Simply run a nice thick battery cable from your cranking battery to your auxiliary batteries and stick in a kill switch. Now, a lot of the guys would install a rocker switch on the dash over here where you press it and it would then combine both batteries. Personally, I prefer to stick it under the hood. So I have a kill switch, and the reason why I do that is I don't want my cranking battery and my lithium batteries to be mixing. Unless it's an emergency. Cranking battery and the lithium battery are two separate technologies, and all the power that's coming in from the solar needs to charge those optimally. So my auxiliary batteries are being charged through my BMS system, my battery management system, and it's set up for that. As soon as I add a different type of battery, which all cranking batteries are, it's not speaking that same language. So it's pointless to have an expensive BMS red arc system in there if I'm not speaking the right language because I've got two different batteries that it's trying to charge. So for me, having that kill switch, physical switch, I know it's off and I physically have to switch it on if I want all the batteries to be one solid big battery. Now, that's going to help me for two reasons. Number one, situation that I'm in right now, all I need to do is I need to go and switch on or put in the kill switch, switch it onto the on position, and my lithium batteries are going to start charging my cranking battery. And similar to jump starting, I just don't have an engine running the lithium batteries right now, so I have to wait about 5 minutes to give it enough power, and then I crank it and off I go. The other reason why I do that, when we're in those winching situations and we're winching for extended periods, and especially at night when you're running all your spotlights and everything, the cranking battery is under a lot of load because the winch comes off that. So even though you're running the vehicle, there's not enough power going in there with spotties going and the winch at the same time. So by linking those batteries for that short period to draw extra current to be able to run the winch optimally, I then would use the kill switch to maximize that power that I need for a short period and then switch it to the off position. Let me show you how easy it is to start this car now. All I need to do, open up the bonnet, take the key for the kill switch, stick it in, turn it, and now immediately my battery management system is telling me that it's pulling a lot of amps. So I've currently got two fridges running in the car, so 5.5 amps pulling at the moment. I only have a very small amp hour coming into the vehicle, as you can see. I think it's 1.8. Due to the vehicle still being in the shade, it's early morning. Right, but as soon as I hit that kill and I now put the two batteries together, you see it ramps up immediately. Now that's not enough power for me to charge my battery if I want to go in the next 5 minutes. That would probably take about a half an hour to charge that battery before I can crank it, because there's only 5 amps going into that battery at this point in time. However, if I switch the ignition on, immediately you see it jumps up to about 80 amp. Right, so now it's sucking from my lithium batteries and pouring it into my cranking battery. I leave that for about 5 minutes and then I'll crank it. Right, time to crank it up. I can already see on the dash my voltage has gone from 9 volts all the way up to 12. Should be able to start. The interesting point now is, as I crank it, have a look at the amount of the amps that it's pulling from my auxiliary battery to crank this car. So you need to have proper auxiliary batteries, obviously. As simple as that. I've now resolved my own issue, standalone, without having to carry those silly big ass jumper cables. I don't need it. Very easy installation, very simple to do. Go out and add it to your dual battery setup. There we go, simple as that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tip. If you would like to see anything else, you've all seen how we've set up the vehicle. If you want to see how we've set certain individual things up, the solar, draw systems, anything like that, comment below and we'll make a short video about that. Well, you can't go right now, but remember, if it's dusty, drive it. Rather stay at home for the minute.